Yeah, I don't think you can go any higher. I tried to find fault with them because I try like being contrarian, but I simply can't do it here. It's an A. It's when it's an A because you can't give a higher grade.
Yes, you can. A plus.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. If you can go, if you
Not
go
in a
B
serious
plus,
educational institution.
Sorry.
There's no A plus in serious educational institutions. An A is the best you can do.
Gab, how would I know that?
Wow.
Seriously, how would I know that?
Who would have thought ESPN FC was a serious educational institution?
I got an A star in my GCSEs.
You got to wait. A what?
A star.
How much did that cost you?
Okay.
Nothing.
What does I?
Well, I'm just saying, an A. There
I'll tell you what then, let's put a star by the A. Make it A star. Because you can't go A plus, according to our professor over the other side of the pond.
What's the highest grade? What we need to do is decide on our grades here. The grading system is all whack.
Okay.
Aye.
So you give them an A
Yeah.
Plus.
I give them an A star.
A star, there you go.
history. I've got that. Oh, okay, that's it. Keep your eye out here on the website for more report cards. So at the halfway stage of the season, it's time to grade some of the team's performances. Manchester United have been given a B. Gab Marcotti, is that correct?
I don't have a huge problem with this at all. We can all identify situations where United can play better, but it's a quantum improvement over where they finished last season, where they were last season for much of the year, and it's not their fault. City are so much better. So yeah, I'd give them a B or B minus, with the urging that they can and must improve.
I'd go a little bit higher. I'd go B+. I think despite the comparisons with Manchester City, who were just running away with the league, and despite the criticism of their style at times, United keep getting the job done. And you only have to look at the league table to say exactly how good that is. Top the group in the Champions League. So maybe, against the backdrop of City, you can see a B or maybe lower. But just in the overall perspective of how the season has gone, I don't think you could ask for a whole lot more.
I'm with Shaka on this. I mean, Manchester United couldn't get in the top four last year. Now they're comfortably sitting in second. They're comfortably through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. So it has to be higher than a B.
All right then, the boys say Manchester United maybe deserve a B+ for the start of the season. An A- for PSG.
Why the minus?
I don't know.
I just try to think.
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe because the Neymar Cavani.
They lost.
That's
They
Neymar
lost,
Cavani.
they lost to Munich. They lost against Strasbourg, but the top of the league.
Yeah.
They won the Champions League group comfortably. They haven't done a lot wrong, have they?
Tough school, isn't it? Not sure where the minus comes from.
Yeah, I'm going with an A. I don't know what more they can do to get an A. I think so far they've been everything that people wanted them to be with the acquisition of Mbappe and of course Neymar. I think PSG have been excellent.
Solid A.
Solid A.
Done exactly what we expected. Through to the knockout stages of the Champions League, sitting top of their own domestic league. I mean, what else can they do? It's an absolute solid A all day long.
Get rid of that minus then, according to the boys. It's an A for PSG so far this season. Halfway through the season then, Chelsea, defending champions, have been given a B- by our graders. Gab, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll go. I think it has to be the B- C+ range. I expected a little bit more. They did add players in the summer, very good ones. Even though Conte perhaps wanted even more. They advanced from a very tough, I thought, Champions League group, and they're only a couple points behind United, and will presumably compete for second place in the Premier League. I think there was scope to expect a little more than that, and that's why you don't go any higher.
Yeah, I agree. B-. Right now, Chelsea's sitting in third, 4 points ahead of Liverpool in fourth. 3 points of United in second. But we are talking about defending champions here. And so as a result, it's not all great, but deserving of that B.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with B- as well.
Yep.
Just because, you know, the how tough the group they had to qualify in the Champions League. Otherwise, I would have gone lower, but B- for me.
The general consensus then, B-, a fair mark to give Chelsea for their opening half of the season. A C- then for Arsenal and their performance so far this season. Do you agree?
D.
D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse, getting worse every year. What can I give the manager?
F?
Give him a Z
Oh, give him the
for
sack.
not leaving.
Just give him a big sack and take that with you.
What is he, Father Christmas?
Is that tradition, is it, Steve?
Well, they should think about it, Arsenal, because that's the only way they go from a D. Because I'm with you, Craig, on a D. The only way they go from a D to anything higher than that is by changing the manager.
D?
And that's the issue, that you don't see this getting any better. The manager continues to be there, and then the players that he has available, you don't see real improvement from many of these younger players, younger talent. In fact, they're going in the wrong direction. I mean, whoever heard of Theo Walker? Where has he been? When he's supposed to be the next superstar? That's not working. Jack Wilshere? All those guys going in the wrong direction, and Arsene Wenger is still around? D.
That's it then. They don't think it's a C. They think it's a D, the performance from Arsenal so far this campaign. Liverpool then with a C at the halfway stage of the season, according to their report card. Do you agree, Stevie?
C. No.
No? You'd have it higher?
No. Listen, Liverpool currently are sitting in the fourth spot.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Liverpool's reach for me this year has been in the Champions League because City's winning the Premier League. So, listen, the objective is to get in the Champions League, and right now that's where they are.
So what grade would you give them?
I'd give them a B.
Oh, a B?
Yeah.
Would you give them a B?
B, C, B. All right, I'll go with B.
Yeah,
Why not?
B's.
I mean, just the defending would be...
Yeah, that's like an F, and the attack's the A.
Yeah.
There you go.
The attack's been great, but... All right, C.
See?
Can't have that goalkeeper and that
yes.
defending. C.
I mean, look, they've done well enough to be one of the best teams in the Premier League. But when we talk about best teams, there's only one really outstanding group, and that's Manchester City. So yeah, they're part of the group that's behind them. I'll give them a B.
B's and C's then, according to the boys in the studio, looking at Liverpool's performance so far this season. A good Champions League campaign, not so good maybe in the league, means that Spurs have been giving a B as their half-season report. Gab, what do you reckon? B, fair?
Yeah, I might go tiny bit higher because it's Pochettino. But no, I'm kidding. Look, we're talking about the team that has the sixth highest wage bill, probably the sixth most resources, and they're in sixth place. So they are pretty much where you'd expect them to be. They're not that far off the top four, but they are competing against better resourced opponents. And I think where they provided value added was in the Champions League, where obviously they finished ahead of Real Madrid, and that was a group that included Borussia Dortmund. Peter Bosz is Borussia Dortmund, admittedly, but still Borussia Dortmund. So I think a B is reasonable, with the proviso, obviously, that that there are hurdles to this team that other teams don't have to face.
Spurs are fifth, not sixth. That's just Gab's Pochettino ways.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm still tending to agree with Gab here. Despite this, is this a Spurs team that finished second last season, and Pochettino didn't have the summer transfer window that everybody else did, or the one that he wanted. As a result, I'm favouring them a little bit, but can't go any higher than that B.
How can it be B?
Where would
There's
you
not
put it?
one. There's not one of us here thought that Spurs would be outside the top four, and they're sitting almost halfway through the season outside the top four.
I don't think
So
anyone.
how is that possible?
I don't think anyone thought they'd get through that Champions League group, though. On the other hand, if you're going to start.
On the other hand, that is correct. But come on, it's got to be B minus for where they are in the Premier League and the results they've had in the Premier League. You can't give them a B.
Gab, loving Pochettino. Stevie Nicol, not so much. It is a B, though, on the Spurs report card. Right then, La Liga report cards. Barcelona, of course, have to get an A. What a sensational season they've had. Real Madrid, D. Gab Marcotti, fair?
Yeah, I think it is probably fair. You look at the expectations. You look at also chuck Champions League in there. They're not where they want to be. So yeah, D, C minus if you want to be generous, but I think that's about right.
World champions, Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because when it comes to Real Madrid, you graded on, well, according to one other club and one other club only, and Barcelona. So as a result, yeah, maybe D seems fair, but I think over the greater piece, I still feel they're poised to get second. They are the reigning club world champions. They finished second in their group in the Champions League last year. That didn't seem to bother them too much. So I'd bump their grade up slightly to a C.
Oh no, D, absolutely. How disappointing have they been?
Yeah.
Listen, sometimes it's just about getting results, but when you don't get results and you play poorly, how can you get anything higher than a D? They struggled. Champions League, they never looked like winning that group in the Champions League. So, yeah, solid D.
A, I don't know, was A plus ever on the table? Surely if a team deserves an A plus, it's Barcelona this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What we've seen from this so far, yeah.
All right, put a little plus then. Next to Barcelona in there, A.
Okay.
So this is what Jose Mourinho had to say after the game. We didn't win because we missed incredible chances. I would say joke chances. I talked to the players at half-time when it was 1-1. It was an easy match to win. Childish loss of possession, so easy. Childish in their box and childish in our box. I like this from Mourinho. Honest Mourinho, no excuses. He's spot on, isn't he, Stevie?
Pretty much. Yeah, listen, Manchester United should have won this game comfortably. But if you leave Leicester hanging on, then you shouldn't be surprised that they take advantage of it. You know, they didn't win the Premier League for no reason. And it's a real punch in the guts for Manchester United. This should have been 3 points. As he said, easy.
But this kind of epitomises United of late. They just don't seem to be able to kill teams off. We saw it obviously against Bristol City. It's happened time and time again over recent weeks, and this time they're punished for it.
Yeah, but time and time again, we've been fairly critical, and I certainly been critical of Mourinho's role and them not killing teams off. That you go 1 up or 2 up and they just sit back and defend and try to soak pressure up. This has nothing to do with Mourinho. This is just the players kind of taking things for granted. You can't be having the kind of chances that you have, that Manchester United had. Lingard, Martial, Rashford, we agree to disagree on that one. But it was comprehensive for Manchester United. And then you're down to 10 men. You have Smalling injured. You're asking for some kind of leadership on the field. Okay, Manchester United don't have great leaders, but you do have Pogba. You do have Matic. Both of them on the park at the same time. The only way that Jose Mourinho can be blamed here is if you're asking him to come on the pitch and make these decisions and score these goals themselves. This is down to some of the best players in the world, some of the highest paid players in the world, just neglecting their responsibilities.
But talking about the Smalling injury, did Mourinho not make a mistake in putting him back on the pitch? Why even put that as an element? Why keep him off the pitch? He's injured, so he's not there as a distraction to the rest of your defenders.
No, it doesn't work that way. You know, it's just another body. You know, if he can stand, then maybe he can head the ball away or the ball can hit him. That isn't the problem. I kind of agree with Shaq for most of it, but guess what? What does Mourinho get paid to do? Coach. You're telling me he can't get on the side of the field and say, right, you there, you there, you there, and then there's no argument, and then nobody's got a discussion about it. You just do as the coach tells you. That's what he should have done. He should have done it really quick. It wasn't like Smalling all of a sudden from nowhere was struggling. He was struggling for quite a bit, and he didn't make the decisions and make it clear to the players what to do.
I agree with you, Stevie, but you played in great Liverpool teams who I don't think this would have been an issue for. You would have made that decision. Right. I played at very average teams in the Premier League that wouldn't have made an issue out of this, that we'd have figured it out on the park. And as a result, that's why I'm not putting this on Mourinho at all.
But yes, we would have done that. When you have the right type of player, you do it, right? And actually it's done before the coach is even off his seat and tells you. But when it's not done on the field, that's his job, to get off his seat and start pointing people around and telling them what their job is.
Gab, what was your big takeaway from the game?
I don't know. I'm a little bit less concerned here, and then I'm concerned when teams don't create chances. I'm less concerned when they don't finish them or they concede a goal so late because of the kind of thing that ultimately is fairly fixable, right? Because, we heard that Smalling was injured. He's not always going to be injured. Other guys will hopefully take this lesson to heart and do what Xhaka and Stevie suggested and take ownership of the situation on the pitch and make adjustments on the fly, or maybe Mourinho will be more forceful from the sidelines. Those are things that you can easily fix. You worry when you don't create chances and when you concede too many. And I thought in this game, for the most part, Manchester United, Freudian lapse there, did a pretty good job of that.
Let's take a look, shall we, at the player ratings. According to our ESPN FC blogger Sam Marsden, he gave Barcelona high marks. Messi, Suarez, obviously. Yeah, it was easy. It's easy giving high marks to Barca. If you look at the Real Madrid standings, though, Varane and Ramos with the same 5. Navas with a 5 I thought was harsh. He couldn't have done anything about the goals, really. Third one.
Nope.
And did Kovacic really deserve a 3? Didn't he do his job well?
Well, until about a half an hour left in the game, it was always going all right.
We just basically said, what is he doing on the first, by the way, most important goal of the game? So you can't give him top marks, can you?
Benzema 3, Ronaldo 4.
Benzema, I'll tell you what, he looks an absolute nervous wreck. When some of the balls that got played up to him were coming off his knee and hitting his calf, and then he would get it under control. He looks a bag of nerves to me.
They should have got a new centre forward in the summer, shouldn't they?
Absolutely.
They shouldn't have either got rid of Morata or gone big on Mbappe.
Either one is better than what they did.
It's incredible when you think in the summer you had Piqué coming out and saying for the first time in 8 years it feels that Barcelona are inferior to Real Madrid in the Clásico. How things have changed. How much credit do you give to Valverde, or how much do you point the finger at Zidane?
I think Valverde has settled things down. I think that's helped by how good Lionel Messi has been. I think he's better right now than we've seen for the last couple of seasons. But at the same time, we keep seeing this as big a lead as it is. This is not a great Barcelona team by Barcelona standards. The thing that kind of has us bemused is Real Madrid. This is twice defending European champions and world champions. And you come from that January through May that we saw from Real Madrid and Cristiano Ronaldo to this version of Real and Cristiano. And I don't know how to explain it. And to answer your last question about Zinedine Zidane, I think a little bit, yes, he is getting found out. Things have been going very well. Yes, he took over the club in a difficult circumstance. But I don't think he's done enough this season to kind of ease the troubles that they're going through. And the issue is, as I just mentioned, yes, he is twice defending coach of the European champions. But if there's one club and one club owner in Florentino Perez who can sack a manager even with that kind of a CV, it's him. That's the only reason you kind of sit a little bit nervously, because of Florentino.
14 points. Real Madrid have a game in hand, obviously, so it could be 11. But it's by the by. The league's obviously done. Gab, how has this happened? 17 matches in, and Barca have a 14-point lead over the defending champions and many people's favourites in the summer.
Yeah, it's not just a 14-point lead. It's an enormous points total. I mean, they're on track to I think, end up right around the 100 points mark by the end of the season, and that's the pace that they're on. So it's two concurrent things. It's Real Madrid underachieving, but it's also Barcelona, playing at the sorts of levels in terms of results that we haven't seen since Pep's heyday and since I think the Tito season. That's absolutely tremendous. And I think you have to give a ton of credit to Valverde here, because he's really managed. We all know the horrendous summer that they had with Neymar leaving, with the impeachment proceedings against the president, with Messi himself not signing a new contract for a long time. There's just everything going around the club, and then Dembele gets injured. He's managed the situation. He's kept things calm. People have all stayed on message, which is not something we take for granted now, but wasn't the case historically. And he's done it really in his first attempt at a club that was new for him, and that was a big club. So, for me, right now, Valverde deserves a tremendous amount of credit.
I think this may be a brief segment now. Is La Liga over?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Gab Marcotti, is it over? Mr. Old Contrarian up there?
It's not over, and I'll tell you why it's not over. It's not over
All right,
because...
shut it down. Right, pull the plug.
Because Atletico Madrid may be hit or miss, but if they go and they tank the Europa League, this is all they have left to play for. They're getting Diego Costa, of course, in January, who can give them an instant boost. They're getting Vito Lorin.
9 points. Pull the plug on him. That's it.
Time, gentlemen, please.
Wrap it up. The big talking point, as we were mentioning, is Kovacic's selection over Isco and Bale. Zinedine Zidane addressed that, saying, I know I'm going to get beaten up tomorrow in the media for the decision to start Kovacic ahead of Isco, but I'm never going to change. I'm here to make decisions, and if we scored in the first half, it would all have been different. Kovacic had to watch Lionel Messi, and he did so well. I can say we did not deserve it, but this is football. Let's bring Gab Marcotti into this conversation. Gab, what do you make of it? Zidane said, look, he had a game plan. If they scored in the first half, it would have worked well. He's got a point, hasn't he?
I think he absolutely has a point, and he's right, and he will go and get hammered for this. But the reality was, in that first half, it wasn't just it wasn't just Benzema hitting the post. There was Cristiano making a couple runs as well. I think it worked. We saw very little from Messi and from Suarez in the first half, and sometimes it's a game of inches. The problem is though, the game lasts 90 minutes, and I suspect, and it's just a hunch here, I don't have any evidence whatsoever, I wonder if something didn't happen at halftime, because it looked to me like it was a different Real Madrid that came out there in the second half. They looked less confident, they looked more jittery, they looked more rash, and obviously the goal precipitated things.
Yeah, Gab, what do you think? What you're alluding to may have happened. What may have happened at halftime?
I honestly don't know. And I want to make this very clear. I'm purely speculating. I have no evidence whatsoever other than what we saw. And from really the moment the second half began, Real Madrid did not seem as comfortable as they had been up until that point. And I don't think it was necessarily a big tactical adjustment from Valverde, although that, of course, came later. I think mentally they just weren't the same as the first half, and they didn't react properly as well when they conceded the goal. There was still a lot of football to be played, but really the wheels came off, and you saw that in Sergio Ramos's reaction. You saw that in many different ways around the pitch.
This is 100% on the players, what happened at the start of the second half. As a coach, when the team comes in after being the better side, after creating chances that unfortunately you didn't take, all you're doing is going around and making sure everybody goes out and does exactly what happened in the first half.
Right.
This is 100% on the players. They're the ones that didn't turn up in the second half, not just individually, but as a group. And the opposite happens with Barcelona. If I'm the coach of Barcelona, I'm going, right, what are we doing? Why are we sitting back letting this team dictate to us? We need to get on the front foot, and that's what you see. So this is all on the players as far as Real Madrid are concerned.
Meanwhile, Isco being left out once again for the Clasico, of course, left out before as well, the Bernabeu. Can you understand that decision?
No. Real Madrid, we all sat here last week and talked about this game and said that Real Madrid have to win this game, right? So you take arguably your best player, who's in the best form of any of your so-called stars, you take him out the team and play a guy to number one go mark one of the opposition for 90 minutes, and who's not as good as the guy you've taken out. How is that an attitude that's telling everybody around that you're going to go and win this game?
What about the argument that if Benzema doesn't hit the post, if Cristiano Ronaldo isn't as greedy... We could dissect 1,000 games and say, if that had happened. The point is, we talk about what happened. We stick to what happens on the field. We don't dream about what may or may not have happened. Is Zidane getting found out?
No, I don't think you can say that. They're going through a tough spell. I don't know any coach that hasn't gone through a tough spell, regardless of who the team is. No, I wouldn't say that.
Look at your Saturday's Premier League fixtures. Everton at the top. Under Sam Allardyce, been difficult to beat. Chelsea, another one of the big boys, falling over themselves to give Man City this title. Big win for Brighton. Talking of Man City, 17 straight wins. Aguero on fire, Sterling on fire. No sign of them losing anytime soon. Big win for Stoke City and Mark Hughes. Talk about him losing his job if they hadn't won. West Ham really disappointing at home to Newcastle. David Moyes had West Ham going and going well, but that will just derail them. Tottenham, Harry Kane enhancing his reputation once more. What a great hat-trick for him, and if you had him in your fantasy Premier League team as captain, you've had a great weekend. And then the big game at the end, Leicester, Man United. Man United with all the chances, Leicester down to 10 men, and right at the death, Harry Maguire with the equaliser. United dropping points, and that means City are now 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Yes, 13. It's when they win the Premier League, not if they win the Premier League. That's your Saturday's Premier League recap.